Alrighty everyone, welcome back. It is now September 3rd of 2023, and given that Disney is going through a lot of changes right now, not just because of Bob Iger's cost containment plan, but also because of how much trouble Disney has been putting themselves into with all the latest box office failures and the stocks hitting an all-time low of a 9-year low, mind you. And not just that, I think that more and more people are beginning to wake up that Bob Iger is nothing more than a liger. This guy likes to lie to the general public and really just make it appear like Disney is all the more confident than they really are about how they are about to perform in the long term. This is Mike Zero. Subscribe if you're new and like this video to see future updates. I'm also on Twitter at Mike01. I thank you all so very much for the great and kind support. And let's get right into the subject, shall we? Now, we know that Brie Larson is one of the stars of the up-and-coming Marvels. This actual movie is going to be one of the biggest box office failures of the MCU. Now, we know that the Marvel Cinematic Universe has really been going in a downward trend, and that is something that Iger and Kevin Feige are desperately trying to course correct. And the Marvels, let's just face it, it's not going to help things at all. And if anything, it's going to make things worse. It's going to drive more Marvel fans away. And I don't really feel that it's going to solve anything. Now, Brie Larson in particular, there's been a lot of drama happening behind the scenes between herself, the Disney higher-ups, and how the whole firing situation of Brie Larson is beginning to unravel, where she was let go from several projects. We're going to be getting into further details and updates surrounding this situation, so let's get right to the main subject here. Now, given that Brie Larson is somebody that is very overly demanding and hard to work with, given that Iger and the board wanted, of course, to actually stabilize that and have come to realize that they can't afford Larson to wreak havoc on many of their MCU projects anymore, while Bob Iger's cost containment plan is active, Larson's Captain Marvel sequel is going to be fully announced at this year's D23 event. The main reasoning behind its cancellation, as it turns out, is directly linked to Larson's firing from that film, after she was already upset with the payout for that film that she was in discussions with Disney for, and what they were offering to her. This is what led ultimately to financial differences between Larson and the Disney higher-ups. And Larson did not understand about Disney's forced cost containment plan, leading to making movies and television cheaper by making less and spending less. Larson was also, of course, fired from both a planned She-Hulk Season 2 to make cameo appearances and Ms. Marvel Season 2 to make some major cameos in there as well. As it turns out, Disney has been working on a plan to revive She-Hulk again to announce a second season sometime next year. Now guys, let me just pause here for 1 second. It seems like Disney just doesn't get it. They don't learn. Do they not realize that everybody practically despised She-Hulk? How cringeworthy that season or that show really was on Disney Plus, to the point where it really tarnished any future for Tatiana and getting more roles on a significant level, at least I feel. Now the problem here with Brie Larson is that a lot of this was rooted to the fact that she was demanding a very high payout for a lot of these cameos, and that was impossible because as of late, Bob Iger initiated this cost containment plan that really just made that and those demands impossible by Brie. And that's what led to those financial, controversies, those financial conflicts, if you will, or differences. And that's where everything began to fall apart. So we were about to get a sequel to Captain Marvel, a sequel to The Marvels, which was also canned, and I think that was a good move. Obviously, nobody would have wanted to see that to begin with. Let's just be real with you guys. But we know one thing about this, is that given that Bob Iger is in a very delicate situation right now, I think that he realizes that he can't afford any major failures after Snow White 2024. They have to up their game. They have to make sure that they can at least do something that will stabilize the company and kind of garner some fans back. But no matter what they do, guys, I will be very, clear here. I don't believe that Disney is going to be able to do that. That they're going to be able to pursue that successfully, so to speak. But let's get into the further aspects of this. Now, Larson, as it turns out, was also attached to appear in an Agatha series as a cameo as well, where her cameos and appearances for those TV shows and the Captain Marvel sequel were mainly cancelled due to Brie's overly demanding behavior of her payout for these said cameos. Iger and the board also made the decision to cancel all plans for the Marvel sequel, which they were going to announce in 2024 that was going to bring back Larson. The entire film fell apart due to them not wanting to deal with Brie anymore, for the most part. As of now, she is only attached to Secret Wars, and this is Brie's bargaining chip to reason with Disney based on her leaving, which would supposedly drastically alter the planned story of the film, as Captain Marvel is supposedly a big part of Secret Wars. Now, again, Secret Wars is not dropping until 2027. We got a ways to go, and with all these strikes, I mean, it's pretty apparent that it most likely will be delayed again until 2028. I can really see that happening if these strikes go way into 2024, around the spring. You're not going to see a 27 release date schedule for Secret Wars. It's just not going to happen. So overall, I think that more and more studios are beginning to wake up. We talked about her banishment from Hollywood, how she's essentially blacklisted from many Hollywood studios out there, like Warner Brothers, Universal, even Nissan, that she works with for commercials of their vehicles. They are slowly phasing her out as well, because they know how insufferable she really is, both as an actress and as a person. And that's why she's so hard to work with. That's why Universal is already in the process of dropping her from Fast X Part 2 and 3. They wanted to give her initially a very big role for those films. Well, not so much right now. And a lot of this is rooted back to the Marvels backlash and the controversy surrounding that film. I don't know if you guys saw the latest trailer of the Marvels. If you have not seen the third trailer, check it out. It is quite cringy, and it just goes to show you how wacky and silly, quote-unquote, by Nia DaCosta, the director, this movie is really going to be. It really is going to make Disney lose hundreds of millions of dollars, without a doubt. I think that this movie is going to last just as long as The Flash did in theaters, and it's going to go directly to Disney+. You're going to see that happening. So I think that Disney at least is waking up a tiny bit. I'm not defending them in the least, but I'm just saying that at least they are doing something to have one step forward that's at least a good or a positive thing. Not saying it's going to fix anything, but it's at least better than doing nothing, right? We know that Bob Iger and the board are just stubborn. They don't care what the customers think. They don't care what the general public has to say. But anyway, I would like to hear what you all have to say about this below in the comments. And if you guys did enjoy the content for today, make sure to drop a thumbs up on this video to support the channel. And I will catch you guys next time.
Night to moon, we hear them moans again.